Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to Restaurant Industry Podcast. I'm Vas Sanchez.
And I'm Tyler Edwards. We are two restaurant industry vets talking about what we love
And what we hate
with restaurant industry professionals.
on a podcast. This is Restaurant Industry Look, you want to figure this out. You want this to be nice and tight and clean. It's not going to be that way. Neither is any night of service or
You're
any
recording
actually.
already, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So it should be this. It should be this kind of raw. Hi, welcome. This is what it is. This is who we are.
I just want to say that I don't want to drive, but I do want to know where the car's going.
Fair
is what I mean to
The
say.
car is going to end up welcoming people to the podcast. That's what we're getting at the end of this. The people that are both not as versed and want to know more, and the people that are longtime veterans that can relate and have a great time talking shit and complaining and hating and loving all the same things we complain about and love and hate. The same way we would do at any after shift hang. That's all this is. It honestly came from a sort of I don't want to say a hatred, but a definite picking apart of the bear, I think, is where this sort of it started.
We also don't need to advertise the genesis of this idea. This idea is pretty
We're
obvious.
not advertising anything. We're letting people in to
Well,
the kind of discussions that we have.
Yeah.
We're not advertising. This is what your constant concern is.
I'm just like sort of scared of the idea that someone might think that I want them to hear me.
The layers of what you're afraid of.
Who hurt you? What urge of urgency do you have?
Well, I've been working in restaurants for a long time,
this
and a
is
lot
exactly
of the kitchens
what
I worked at,
happens.
you weren't allowed to talk in.
This rife, it's such a heavy insecurity with what, not only are you worried about what they're going to think, you're worried about what people who are thinking about what they're going to think are going to think.
You know that people listening aren't talking to you.
Or
I
thinking.
also know there will.
It's a one-way.
Hey, we're hoping for lots of listeners, but for the three of you that are listening, we love you and thank you so much for tuning in.
I hope
Mom.
we're not actually gonna. This isn't the first episode. We can rehash some of that, but
I think we're just going right now,
Yeah.
and
All right.
all of
I
this
think
stuff
it's,
is
I think
usable.
it's a good first episode
I
because
agree.
it shows how neurotic you are.
I agree.
well, I'm
This
not
is-
neurotic. I'm fat.
I'm fat, but there's a whole different neurosis going on right now.
This is a room of three fat men. But
I'm worried about-
me and Boss aren't second guessing ourselves.
I'm doing the shirt pull. You know what I mean? You're
No, I
doing
think it's
you're doing the shirt pull of the soul.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, this is like really introspective shit that the two of you could probably take a page out of this book.
Oh,
You know, I'm trying to be conscious,
Are you saying we could
Of
learn
how-
from what you're doing right now?
or just how introspective I'm being, dude. You know, like I'm reflecting, or you know, whatever. Listen, what I mean to say is something funny, but I can't think of it.
wants organic humor to
Yeah.
happen by forcing it with
Yeah.
Q
Yeah.
and insert ha 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 ha.
This is not the first episode.
This
We've
This is great.
This is excellent, and it's going to be called "This Is Not the First Episode."
well, so
It's
yeah,
perfect.
so
it's perfect.
well, for the record, I also do want to talk a lot about the things in the restaurant industry that that are going well, because I think there's
Oh,
a lot
look,
to
man.
talk about that's going wrong.
100%. This is the conversations about almost everything you can pick apart, right? There's good and there's bad, you know, outside of any kind of, even in a political scope at this point, there's good and there's bad. And I'll say that, and it takes a lot for me to say that right now, but there's good and there's bad.
The silver lining might be razor fucking thin.
Very, very, very thin, if at all. But yeah, dude, no, I agree. Well, look,
But it's hard to find
what
the
about,
good stuff, because
what about how long have you been in the industry? Like when did it begin? When did it start for you?
for me, it started when I was 14 years old. Started working as a dishwasher at Nuke's Express Cafe.
Is that in relation to the Nuke's sandwich chain?
Man, the
NEWKS?
very first one ever started in Oxford, Mississippi, where I grew up.
And that was where you started.
That's where I started as a dishwasher. Me and my buddy, and it was like a summer job. Worked there for a little while, and it's like a tried and true progression of the prep guy called out, so they needed the dishwasher to go do some prep stuff.
So you start to climb the
And
ladder.
then, yeah. So it was just sort of like a, what do they call that? Like a, like a promotion in battle promotion or whatever, right? Like, like, hey, the officer got killed.
Right, you're up.
You're in charge now.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was like that, and that's kind of been the case in every restaurant. And then I, eventually fucking went to culinary school, dropped out of college, went to culinary school and took out an $80,000 loan. and learned how to do it there the way that
What
they
and
want
what
you
school
to.
was that?
It was a restaurant. It was a culinary school that no longer exists. Actually, it's called Western Culinary Institute in Portland, Oregon.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so I moved from Oxford, Mississippi to Portland, Oregon when I turned 18 after like about a year at Ole Miss, and I went
Hotty toddy.
hotty toddy baby.
He taught
I
me
went
that.
there and lived in Portland and went to culinary school and worked as an intern in a restaurant there for I don't know year and a half until I graduated, and then I moved back to Oxford and went and worked for some dudes that own restaurants,
some cool
there.
places.
Yeah, some places, and learned a lot of shit.
The resume is deep. It is awesome.
But then it was Oxford, and then I worked in Oxford for like 6 years or 5 years, and then I moved to Atlanta and worked there for like 3 years, and then I moved to Chicago, worked there for like 4 years, and then moved back to Atlanta, and got like the very first corporate job I've ever had in my life. I was working as like the culinary director for this production company in Atlanta that no longer exists either, but they owned a lot of music venues.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a big music.
And I remember
dude.
that, and that's kind of we met a little bit before that. Obviously, when you came back to or when you came to Atlanta from Oxford, you were here for a bit. I'll drop the name. We met at Empire State South.
Yeah, that was a big spot.
It was a
for
cool
me.
spot. Also gone now, but that
there
was
for a
where we
long
met.
time.
And I was a former chef, so that was the first foray for me from going back of house to front of house, which I think is why we immediately had this like, oh,
Yeah.
you're cool, you're fine, it's all good. Because there's an obvious, for those that don't know, but they should know at this point, there's like such an obvious rift between the front of house and back of house, and how that dynamic sort of plays out. And so it's always unique, I think, when you can sort of understand back of house and speak that language and understand how stupid it is to ring in like a highly modified ticket without having a conversation first, or like understanding the mood in the kitchen and understanding the flow of the kitchen, to all of a sudden just be like, my guest said they don't want cucumbers in the cucumber salad. And it's like, your job was to redirect them. Why didn't you do that part?
Yeah, or I want this without onions.
Right. And you're just like,
man,
cool. So everything has, and then you have to ask all the stupid follow-up questions. Is it onion allergy? Is it a preference? What is it? And then to have a server look at you blank in the face and be like, I don't know. It's like, bro, you got to be, to me, that's like, I call that chef brained. It's like understanding why this thing is coming up at you, because it's the speedy process that like chefs have to be in it all the time. Like just constantly ready for like, what's happening next? And I got to be able to pivot. Which I think translated for me in service. Like I was on the floor and I started to learn like, oh, I can pivot. I can move. I understand a menu. So when someone asks a silly question, I can be like, you know what you're actually looking for? This, not that. And then I don't have a modded ticket. I have exactly what they want. It goes in the kitchen. Kitchen loves me because I don't send back crap.
Modded ticket.
Ticket.
You sound like
Modified ticket.
Yeah.
Modified ticket for those who don't know.
Well, what about you? When did you start? I mean, your
My
shit started
family,
early.
yeah, they owned a restaurant when I was growing up. So I lived in a restaurant. I grew up in a restaurant. I was a baby boy playing in a restaurant.
Well, hold on. Were you at one of those restaurants where it was like kind of not okay to have like a little kid running around in the kitchen? Like you had like open-toed shoes and you were like grabbing knives.
Oh,
and
I mean,
shit?
we were completely not doing. Yeah, I mean, it was wrong the way we were doing things. But I mean, like, it was a family-owned restaurant in a small town, so it's like, who's gonna say anything? You know what I mean? But yeah, certainly.
Well, the guests could have, but
But even back then, it was considered more adorable to see that than it was a health hazard.
yeah,
you know what I
it
mean?
was like that kid could be injured.
Your kid starts to bleed, and they're like, "Oh, look at him! He's trying to be a little chef like his dad."
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Yeah.
like, no, that's silly. He shouldn't be in the kitchen. It's
You
crazy.
get sued by a stranger
Yeah.
today.
Oh, I dropped something in the meat grinder one time. I forget what it was, but it wasn't food.
You forgot what you dropped in the meat
I was a
grinder.
kid.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
and I wasn't working. Like my dad was grinding burger meat, and I was like, "Tee hee hee! Look what's funny!" and dropped something in, and I forget. It was like something like in my backpack. You
It
know,
was
like
the
homework.
the timer for the oven.
Yeah, just like boop, and it's like, you know, and my dad screaming at me like, what are you doing? And it's like, you don't even realize like,
Your pops was grinding meat.
oh yeah, I mean,
dude.
my dad was doing, he did all the stuff.
If you're grinding meat in a restaurant nowadays, you're like a
right. Oh boy.
yeah, you're a fancy
Oh
schmancy.
boy, that was just a way of making sure that it was cheaper to buy a whole cut and grind it than it was to buy ground burger. It was just
Yeah.
like we'll just grind
well,
it.
labor used to cost nine cents.
Nine
an hour.
cents. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I grew up in it as a little kid, and then I remember the bug kind of hit me when my dad he was left-handed, and he used to do this thing that I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I really think it's because I watched too many like ninja movies and stuff. But he would do like the rapid chop, like on a mushroom, with the correct hand hold, for those of you not watching this, that's like the curl of the finger. Go on TikTok and check it out. Don't go on TikTok. Don't support that anymore. Look it up.
Just watch Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
cut an
watch
onion.
watch anybody cut. That's a professional chef. There's a curl to the fingers and everything. Anyway, it enables you to move much faster with a knife and carefully with a knife. And he would chop mushrooms for like cream of mushroom soup or whatever, and he would do it rapidly. Now, as an adult, I now know like mushrooms are probably like the easiest thing to have done that with.
And for the record, for the cream of mushroom soup,
it doesn't matter.
You're not grinding.
We're not looking for uniform cuts.
Yeah.
It's just like
You're creaming.
But the best part, the thing that he did that I loved was he would talk to me while chopping. He was standing this way, and he would,
and looking
he
away.
would turn and look at me while chopping the onions to ask me about school.
Oh, I love
and
it.
I remember being like, "You're the coolest! Like that is the coolest thing." And I remember thinking like, only chefs can do. Only a chef could like turn their eye away from a blade. So I wanted to learn that. I was like, "You got to show me that." And the first time I tried that, I was probably 12 years old when I tried to do it, thinking it was a.
Don't act like you're actually conjuring up the actual.
No, I had an itch on my lip.
All right.
There's like an
You had
itch.
this wizard thing.
No, sorry. That was actually an organic moment, which I didn't realize in the moment. Looked a little silly. I must have been close to 12.
Yeah.
No, I had an itch. Probably about 12 years old. I grabbed a hold of the knife. My dad was like no longer looking, and I was like, "Oh, I'll finish chopping these mushrooms just like him." And I did the rapid, but I didn't have the grip at all. I had my fingers flat out like that. And I went straight up my hand because I tried to look away. I don't know why I thought I could do that. I literally was like, oh, it's just a confidence thing. You just chop. And I looked away and went, brrr. I mean, my right hand didn't listen to the stop moment. So I chopped up my fingers really nice and good. My dad comes running over.
That sounds like a fucking cartoon to me.
It was stupid. It was very Tom and
Jerry.
Jerry.
Who has a similar story is, I think, Wile E.
Bugs
Coyote.
Bunny,
Yeah.
No, truly. I chopped my hands up. My dad comes running over, like, "What are you doing? Don't ever touch a knife. You don't know what you're doing."
Sure.
And I was like, I realized in that moment, you can't take these skills for granted. You can't take knife sharpness for granted, all that stuff. And it was at that point that I was like, all right, I kind of want to do this. You got to teach me.
Take knife sharpness for granted.
You can't take knife sharpness for granted.
You can't just assume your knife is sharp.
You
is
can't.
What that means.
You can't assume it's sharp. You can't
But
assume.
you also can't assume it's not sharp.
Truly, you just got to know. But like, I started at that point. I was a dishwasher, and then, like you said, it was sort of a organically being the son of the chef. It was just sort of a. I was a little dish pig forever, and for a little while it was
I like dish pig.
I was a little dish pig, buddy. I was a little dish piggy boy, and
the only animal I cannot imagine in a dish pit
is a pig.
Yeah, notoriously dirty people.
I was a dish walrus.
Yeah.
Okay. But like the thing that really got me was he would pay me to do like menial crap. Like he'd be like, go peel, and we had those big like 50-pound bags of potatoes, you know. He'd be like, peel a bag of potatoes, and for every bag I'll give you $5. All right.
Jesus Christ.
So I'd sit on a bucket
That's
out.
like what a bag costs.
Exactly.
He's not making any
It
money.
doesn't- And I'd sit out back on a bucket and peel the potatoes, and then he taught me how to take the eyes out of the potatoes, you know, and peel.
Sure.
And I was doing that, and I get all excited. I finish the,
Yeah,
a bucket, and I come inside, but I finish the bag, and he'd be like, "Hey, if you want to make $10, you do a bag of carrots." And I'm like, "Okay." So peel the carrots,
He trains you at a young age to really
and then
want
like
to do a thing.
and then it'd be like the celery. So now and then do the onions. So now I'm doing mirepoix plus potatoes, and then he's like, "Hey, if you want to make," he kept leveling up the price. If you want, I'll show you how to use all of these. You can help me make prime rib. That was the big thing in our restaurant, make prime rib. You need a mirepoix for the aromatic base. So I'm like, yeah, teach me that. Now it's not about money anymore. Now I'm helping my dad, and I'm really interested in helping my dad to the degree of when we're done, he doesn't remind me that he told me he'd pay me, and he was testing to see if I was the son that was going to be like, hey, by the way, I've been keeping tabs.
I did 2 bags of carrots.
Yeah, exactly. I did 2 bags of carrots, three onions, you owe me $100, which was my brother, if I can be fair. My brother was definitely that kid. He tracks dollars beautifully.
Big
Shout
shout
out. Alex Sanchez, the manager.
You greedy son of a bitch.
He's good, man. He's doing great. That's a successful bitch right there. But that was my whole life. And then of course, it went from there. We butted heads in a way whenever I got to like 16-ish. I was starting to try and work the line. He's a chef. And this is also my dad trying to tell me what to do, and I'm a rebellious asshole. So every time he's like, "Hey, fire this or fire that, or you need, why are you dragging 4 French dips or whatever the hell?" I'd be like, "Fuck you, fuck off, don't fucking talk to me."
All right.
And it literally that too. Like I was such a dumb little shit, so performative, trying to show off for all the hot servers and the hostesses and all my big bros on the line and all that gag. So and my dad was he doesn't take that well either. So we got into a lot of like yell, scream, and my uncle, who was the owner of the restaurant, also a chef, stepped in and broke us up, and then he and my uncle would fight a lot. So it got very toxic. My uncle opened a second restaurant.
Yeah,
I went down there.
Cue
So
Gordon Ramsay coming in to teach you guys how to run a restaurant.
What are you doing, you fucking donut? And just fucking yelling at us both. But because my uncle opened that second restaurant, I went down there. And then it became fun because we would like joke about who's running what specials tonight. Because I'd be like, did you see Inland had X amount off on halibut, or this is price on halibut we should get. I bought 50 pounds. I bought 50 pounds. Oh, okay. What are you going to do with it? I'm going to pistachio crust it with this sauce, beurre blanc, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm going to do an almond crust with this beurre blanc. And okay. So you got...
I love that the crust
it was both
and
nuts.
beurre blanc.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that can change. That's the only thing you can do to fish.
It was the 90s.
Yeah.
It was the 90s. It was either a butter caper sauce or it was some kind of dumbass beurre blanc. Or a velouté. Like, get the fuck. It was all that gack back in the day, You crust the stupid ass fish.
You called it gack.
It was gack. I hate that. Gack is my term for I don't care what that is.
Yeah,
it's just fucking
I've never
gack.
heard that term.
It's just that gack. Crust of fucking pan crusted, pan roasted, pan seared, crusted, blah, blah, blah. Every
I
fish
love that
had a nut crust.
You have to talk about how the food's cooked, specific to what equipment you use.
Of course.
At some point in the descriptors, I think someone entertained spatula turned, or spoon stirred.
This is a flipped burger.
Yeah, you have to just such flowery verbiage to describe what is hand picked,
right,
turned into scissor cut.
Yeah,
and no one's ever used it, but it's
sheared,
it could have gone that way,
shorn.
Because every single thing needs to be described with an inch of its fucking life.
Right.
And then the pendulum swing, and those people are just like, carrot.
Carrot, yeah. And you're like, what's in it?
What the fuck is this?
400 different herbs, a crazy sauce, 6 preparations, but it's just on the menu just says
2/3 of it's carrot top. Go fuck yourself.
Carrot, $17.
Yeah.
Am I getting one? But
anyway,
the one that killed me, the flowery words, when I was early days in Atlanta, it was a la plancha.
Oh yeah,
that was like my favorite.
You see that a lot still
anything
today.
was cooked a la plancha.
Oh, we're gonna do that a la plancha.
We'll do that a la plancha.
You mean on the flat top?
On the
same flat
top.
top that we do hash browns.
Yeah,
on
the same
every
flat top that
brunch.
gets a Reuben, 90 Reubens.
Yeah, you mean the one that's completely covered in saute pans?
Right.
Yeah, we'll all la plancha.
The one that's black and layered and shit.
But then you go into these nice restaurants where they have the
French tops.
No, you have French tops and you have planchas.
True planchas.
A true plancha just has a drip off of every direction. You can scrape shit off of every direction,
right.
So it drains the oil off of every single corner, or not even corner, in the sides.
All
the
around.
thing just floats by itself, but it gets blue fucking hot. Right. So a plancha, I guess, is supposed to just be a ripping hot piece of metal. I beg you, what's the difference between that and a pan? I mean, the oil puddles in a pan?
Oil puddles.
Put less oil in it.
Heat distribution.
I can sear something in a pan the same way you can in a fucking plancha. What makes it being in a plancha any better?
Because I can pick up 9 of them and you can only pick up 2.
I got 9 pans. What are you going to do now?
Well, I'm picking up green beans and spinach and
I
other
got
stuff.
1,000 fucking pans.
I got 1,000 pans.
I got 1,000
I'm swimming.
pans.
I'm swimming, baby.
Yeah, how many eyes do I
got
need?
13 pans in my oven cooking right now, so when I bring them out, they're hot as shit.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Of course I did
saute
that.
pans.
We did 30 fucking pans in the oven all
ripping
night.
your hands and keeping stuff in the damn salamander.
So, with this being our first episode, I just want to know: do we sound like we're talking like people who are being recorded? I don't know. I'm just very new to the podcast thing still. He
can't get out of his head. Everybody, he cannot.
Joel, what do you think?
Did your parents judge you when you talked to them as a kid?
It did. It was. I wouldn't call it judgment. I would just say there were critiques.
There was a standard.
Yeah.
It was the
Why do you
same way.
ask?
It was the same way my father could chop a mushroom.
Hold on. Why the fuck do you ask?
It's very obvious.
Also, our producer Joel.
Yeah, I work. Yeah. I also did work in restaurants, but I'm just here to judge you.
Just like my parents.
And just like my
drives.
No, my parents
of the
didn't.
show.
My parents didn't judge me, and but there was just you should be cognizant of how you sound. I think,
but
or how you're coming off.
To your real question, not just your insecurities. It does sound like cause this is the proof in the pudding of why you guys want to talk to other restaurant industry professionals, because you guys both are, as the opening says, vets of it, but you also have a love of it. And to go back to what Vas was saying of kind of the antithesis of the bear. Like the bear really, in this kind of prickish way, what the in this prickish way, like glorifies cooking and the toxicity of it.
No, God.
And you guys are talking about both things that like are good and bad about restaurants. But yeah, I think this is very interesting because it just shows where you came from. Like I started as a breakfast cook.
Yeah, which is arguably the worst shift you can work.
Yeah,
it's awful,
right? Because you spoke about modifications. God, if there's not a red-blooded American out there that doesn't want 3 fucking specific weird things done to their breakfast
to me is the most
you're hard-pressed
specific
to
meal.
find them.
It's the most specific meal.
Yeah, your eggs need to be cooked a certain way.
Right. The
Everyone
toast has to be toasted a certain way.
Yeah.
The fucking potatoes got to be
That's
crispy
like
or soft.
dude, being picky about your breakfast is like the most American thing out there,
100%.
right? It's like, this isn't sustenance. This isn't supposed to be, this is like my identity. This is my, the way I like it, my specificity,
Yes.
right? Like everything needs
There's
to be.
an entitlement to it. It's
Which
the
is
first meal of the day.
And honestly, thank God for that entitlement, because if it wasn't for that, there wouldn't be restaurants that serve breakfast every day, right?
Certainly.
The people who placate to everyone's specificities
are the reason we are where we are.
Right.
100%.
And this is why the restaurant industry has gotten as large as it's gotten, is that, we can do anything.
Sure.
How do you like this?
Well, and then we pressed that idea too of like the guest is always right. For a long time, that was part of the ethos of like every restaurant was like the guest is always right.
Because if we just sit here and just drill down all the things that we love and hate,
Slamming the table.
all the things that we love and hate about the restaurant industry, anyone who isn't a deep cut industry person is going to be like, all right,
kidding
they're just
me?
talking
Shut
about
up.
ketchup.
Dude,
again.
are you kidding me?
People love that
That's
shit.
all they love.
People clearly love learning about the restaurant industry. That's why
They
the bear
watch
blew
the
up and
shit
was
out
such
of
a
it.
boner for so many fucking people.
Oh, it's such a boner.
But back to the bear. I don't want to bash them all that much just because.
Well, it opened doors, right?
Well, but for the record, it is just kind of pro restaurant propaganda. Like every chance that they had to really talk about like the nitty gritty, right?
Effusive.
Yeah, you think firing 93 sandwiches and like they just like
It was very glossed.
they wanted that scene to feel like an episode of ER. Right, where there's like
high pressure, high
stakes, and it's just not real.
Right.
And it's not that important. And I think that restaurant industry professionals could really benefit from reminding themselves that it's not that important, and so could the fucking guests.
The guests, I was going to say, the
because
whole thing
the guests
needs
are always,
to be.
I've waited 9 minutes for my
Right.
meal. Well, if you're counting every fucking minute, then you hate your experience, and that's
Right.
actually more important, right? Like, let's find out why they're counting every fucking minute that's
Right,
gone by.
exactly.
Has there not been a server
Shouldn't
there?
feel that way. Yeah.
Right? Has there not been an atmosphere that's relaxing,
Right.
And a lot of the times it's because they're sitting with somebody who they don't fucking like talking to, right? And they want to redirect that frustration onto, right? Like what you're actually mad about isn't that your burger took 11 minutes. It's that you've sat 7 minutes silently across
asshole.
from someone you don't actually want to talk to.
100%.
Right? And,
Absolutely.
And I think that the restaurant industry professionals alongside guests lose sight of the fact that the guests are as big a part of this experience as the restaurant is.
I couldn't agree more.
You need to come into that environment, willing to take what you get. I guess not take what you get, but
I think it should be met in the middle to some degree.
Yeah,
like,
in the middle. Yeah,
But again,
I understand there are humans
like
out
you're
here
saying,
moving physical things.
Depending on the experience in the restaurant, that middle line gets moved in such a way that's so ridiculous to me. It drives me crazy. Like how, like you said, in some places there's this air of like, well, you're here, so it does take 45 minutes, and you're like, but it doesn't have to. It feels like you're pushing that.
That just reminds me.
And
of
then for the food to come out like cool or like room temp ish. Which is kind of a huge thing I keep finding in a lot of places where you're paying a lot of money for these omakases, these huge tasting experiences.
Well, omakase is literally like hand temperature food.
I mean, if it's true, okay, you're talking about true sushi omakase. I'm
Well,
talking
sure, there
about,
are like 11 of in this goddamn city.
but also people are just they put the word omakase on fucking everything right now.
Like,
you can have like a bar omakase, which is like, well, that used to just be called shots. Like, what are we fucking talking about right now?
Yeah, sure.
Stupid. Don't do that. It drives me absolutely bonkers. And yes, people are just tapping into that right now. I'm opening an omakase restaurant. I'm like, that's not a thing. A sushi restaurant has an omakase option. You don't open an omakase restaurant. That's asinine, you know? But here we are.
I've never been to Japan. I don't know anything about that.
I'm going to find out.
So you've never been either?
I've never been, but I'll speak on it. I mean, are you crazy?
You've done a lot of like research.
I'm doing a lot of generalizing, but also we have to think about where this came from. I mean, like you see an omakase, which is generally an option, which means chef's choice. And the chef is going to choose some stuff for you, which I think got dumbed down. Again, I could research this and find out for sure. But I think that it probably got dumbed down to what happened with like all sushi restaurants. When you go in, you can order like a sashimi or a sushi platter, and it says chef's choice in English. You know, when you do the platters, it's like you're going to get California roll and a spiced tuna roll, and then chef's choice, which I think used to be like what omakase was a respect to the time it takes, to, like you said, the hand making of one bite, the precision of it. But to enter an American market, it was like, well, we just got to speed this up and make it like, look, how much is an omakase? It's 10 pieces. All right, put 10 sashimis on there, or 10 nigiris on there, and then 2 of the most popular rolls on the menu, and that's going to be our sashimi deluxe, our sushi deluxe platter.
I'd like to see some proof? Data on this. Yeah. No, not on what you're saying, but on something else. That I think around the same time that Ozempic got popular.
Ew.
Omakases got popular because rich people
were eating less,
but
wanted the elevated experience.
Yeah, they wanted to know that.
That's an interesting Venn diagram right there, my guy. See that.
I don't even know if it's a Venn. It's probably just a graph. But
I don't know anything about math.
Neither. Yeah, but I think that what we're looking at is like a willingness to eat less became popular somehow, whereas, you know, I don't know, 10, 20, maybe 15 years before,
it was about more.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's got to be data to support that too, because I mean, you go back to like the Cheesecake Factories and the, you know, Bahama Breezes and all those chains that had portions that were like ridiculous. Like they're so big, and they still do. I mean, I haven't been to one in a long time.
I think it's interesting that but it's funny that you all want to open restaurants where the portion sizes are incredibly small. Now that food cost has gone up like literally 200%, in fucking 10 years.
It's insane, dude.
Right?
It's crazy. And yeah, exactly. Now it's like I'm paying the same as I was. I need to feed a table of 8.
Yeah.
What if I cut this whole steak into 8 pieces and called it an omakase?
Oh, look at that.
And now I'm selling it actually at a higher markup than I could have before. I'll add a few elements. I'll add some nasturtium leaf.
And also like begging for a reason to justify the cost of it, right? You know, you have to know something about the product that not everyone knows, right? You know, this came from this place and it's only fed this. Right? Well, while that's important information to have, I think it became really appealing to people who absolutely know fuck all about why that's good.
I mean, I feel like that's exactly how most things are sold. You lead with like this layer.
That's a good point.
You lead with a layer of
olive
bullshit.
Oil, lotion,
right? Until someone does enough research to disprove it. But then at that point, if popularity is up higher than the proof, people won't believe it. You're going to tell them this thing is actually bad for you. And then people are like, I don't know. I've been eating ranch for years. I'm not going to turn away from it now. You know what I mean? Because back when I was told you eat a cup of ranch a day and it cures cancer. And it's like, what? That was sold to you. You know what I mean?
No one said that.
Somebody said it. Somebody said that ranch cures cancer. You know who said that? I said that.
Fat boy.
I love ranch. I'm not gonna walk away from the fact that I love ranch.
I think what's interesting is
drinking all night.
The ranch powder hasn't gotten more popular. Like there was like a thing like when Hidden Valley decided to start making the packets. Ranch itself sales plummeted. Like the bottles that they were making, like Hidden Valley bottled ranch plummeted because people started making their own ranch, right? Because you know you get to add whatever but the powder itself. Secret fucking seasoning, dude. You can put that on any piece of meat. You can season anything with that. It sears up really nicely. There's milk powder in it, so it increases the caramelization.
Right, the Maillard process.
Sure, the Maillard. Well, with a guy who says ethos, I feel like you might have said Maillard or something.
Maillard.
You just like randomly choose.
It's a double L, and it's a process that isn't Maillard a French word?
I think it's named after an individual who I don't know where that person's from.
Pretty certain his last name is Maillard. Not Maillard.
How do you know? It might have been Millard. What if he was from fucking Wisconsin?
Then it's the ranch that you know what I mean? Like it's being sold to me. Somebody said my yard, and I was like, that's correct because this guy's wearing a toque.
He's wearing a toque. And that's another one. Toques? No one's wearing those shits anymore.
The fancy chef is. Follow that guy on Instagram if you really want to waste your time and get upset.
Man, I wish I had a clip of that prick.
We will talk about clips. We will bring some stuff up as you guys continue to listen to us. You'll see. Tyler and I share a lot of really fun industry clips, and we want to bring you along with all that instead of just hitting your DMs, which you will ignore. We'll just show you some stuff, and we're going to talk to a bunch of cool people in Atlanta too, and other places. I'm hoping. But
other places, like where?
I don't know. Maybe if we get into like a season 2 through a Patreon with a lot of people supporting us and giving us money and stuff, we'll go to Chicago. And then season 3, we'll go to like San Francisco. Season 4, we'll go abroad.
Us. We both have jobs. I think that the most ideal
dreaming.
The most ideal way that this goes is that we start interviewing every single facet of the industry. I want to talk to chefs. I want to talk to owners. I want to talk to servers, bartenders. I want to talk to dishwashers,
strippers, valet,
drivers, food reps, right? The food
delivery
reps
drivers,
are really the boots on the ground people who know where this industry is
100%.
headed. Because the writing's on the wall, man. Food cost is up. Labor cost is up. Rent is up. How long until the general population realizes what we're doing
What's
here?
happening, yeah, exactly.
Right?
Because liquor is the same way. There's a lot liquor and wine these days. Lots of people are pulling back on it. Like it's not, the boomers are dying off. The Gen Xers are they're still out there. That's sort of the target demographic. But like
they're still out there.
They're still out there.
They're 46,
but they're not.
So yeah, they're still
they're
out
not. They're not. I'm 44. So yeah, that's like 2 years older than me. But like it's the millennial generation and then the Gen Zers that are like, I don't think I want to drink anymore.
They don't want to fucking go to restaurants either.
And they
want someone to bring their food to them in a paper bag.
Right.
The bag better be fucking biodegradable.
Well, you pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
I had some pho delivered to me via Uber Eats one time, and the pho at that time was like a $12 bowl of pho.
Rich boy.
And by the time, pho now is like $17, but like it's beef, and you know this. But like by the time that got to my house, it was $37 after all the crap for
cold.
Uber Eats and everything. Well, I don't mind. I'm going to heat it up, but like it's a $37 bowl of pho. Which if I just got off my fat ass and went up Buford Highway and got it, it would have been 12 with some tip on it. I would have left $20 big time if I'm really feeling like being a generous prick. But like, yeah, eat it there, eat it fresh, eat it hot. It comes in.
A generous prick.
Being a generous prick about it. Because I do think it's such an ass thing to be like, I'm going to leave a lot of money for you because I don't have a lot of money and I'm just sympathizing at this point.
Right. Yeah,
I tip an asshole.
Yeah.
And people like, there are people that call me out on all the time, like, you don't have to go so crazy. I'm like, you have no idea what that person's going through, and it's like I'm projecting all of my insecurities of service.
That's projection.
It's like
entirely.
just give them 22% at the low end, 25% on the best day, 30 if you really want to be nice about it. But I'm over here like, I spent $20. Here's a $50. Kid.
For the record, though, I as somebody who collected tips, I worked front of the house for a little while when I lived in Chicago as well. I get it, but like, people should be paid by the restaurant operators
a living wage.
Yeah. Like, what are we talking about?
100%.
Like, I think that the awkwardness and honestly, the expectation that comes from the fucking server would really dial back a bit if they didn't already have this obligation to give extra money on top of it, right? Like, you'd actually probably get a little bit less complaint if you didn't require a tip from somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Because the real frustration comes from, hey, all right, my fucking burger was cold. I didn't say anything. It took you forever to give me another beer. I didn't say anything. We also waited 20 minutes for the fucking check. I didn't say anything. And now I have to fucking tip 20 fucking percent. You get fired up. Like, dude, just make it cost enough to pay this fucking person.
Also, you're monetizing the experience and then making that person pay for that. Like, yeah, you're taking it out on this person when it could have been the host, it could have been the hostess, it could have been the vibe, like you're saying, the environment, it could have been the food temp, it could have, all these elements play to the entire restaurant, which then they try and solve it by doing a tip pool system where it's like we're all gonna put all of our money in at the end of the night, which is like get.
What about the people who had
I'm
more
not
tables?
a communist. There's a lot of people that think I am. I'm not.
No, that's not even.
It's communism.
Yeah, but it just that doesn't work in the restaurant industry.
It doesn't work when you're talking about capitalism, which is what we are building on.
But also, like, just having this sort of nebulous, there are restaurants out there that sort of have, like, every server takes care of every table, and that's how we...
Man, I'll tell you, that system don't work.
It doesn't fucking work. You know how I know it doesn't work? As a guest there, I don't know who to fucking talk to.
I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know why.
Hey, excuse me, I ordered this from someone who's not around. Can you find them and ask them some shit that I talked to them about earlier? I don't need to find them.
I can take care of you. And you're like, oh, so I should be talking to you? And then here comes somebody else 3 minutes later like, hey, did you guys get drinks? And you're like, oh my God, what is happening?
Right, because you're providing a service. That service is very personal. There's a one-on-one dialogue that needs to happen. It doesn't need to happen, but it should and could happen, and it would be better for both parties if there was a personal connection.
100%.
Because I think in a lot of ways, that's what a guest is paying for.
Yes.
Right? They want they want to be doted on. They want to be reminded
Pampered.
that they're the king of the castle. Right? They want to be the one. They have a servant. They have someone who's their servant for the night. I want to have one servant that I'm looking in to their eyes.
I do love when they take it to that level.
Because that way I know who to tip. I know who I'm tipping.
Right, and who I'm talking to and what.
But it's also a shitbag way to think about it.
It is. Like I said, I get a kick
Just
out of when
charge enough so that these people can fucking
agreed
pay for their goddamn.
That would be the way. Don't you?
And
Do you think there would be like a massive downfall though? Should that start? Should the system flip and everybody's getting paid a wage? And you're charging the amount so that servers get paid. Don't you think the like recourse would be huge? Like people would literally be like, a burger cost $37 because the burger has to cost $37 now to pay for the servers and the labor and everything. Yeah. People would freak the fuck out.
Oh, God forbid we talk about the reality of the fucking situation here.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah, maybe cook at your goddamn house.
But, okay, well that's
right. Maybe don't eat in a fucking restaurant 6 nights a week.
It's a privilege.
Yeah,
right.
It's a privilege. It's a luxury.
100%.
We've forgotten that. Now we just think any goddamn body with a fucking hourly wage can go to a restaurant and is
entitled. They're entitled.
They're entitled.
They're supposed to have a good service. They're supposed to have good food.
Which leads us to the next problem. Okay, if you can't afford it, don't go out. Well, so now we're looking at
killing the business.
A fucking world of now only restaurants exist for the 1%,
right?
The 2 to 3%.
It's a nuanced
only
conversation.
Rich people get to go there, right? So everyone deserves an experience at a restaurant, right?
But I think that's why we have different experiences, and you should dine where you can afford it.
Yeah, you could go to Cava or you can go to like fucking Lazy Betty,
right?
Right,
and you got to dine.
Famously, one of the most expensive restaurants in Georgia, Southeast,
certainly,
right?
And you got to dine.
$350
dine where you can afford. Dine, I think, where you can afford. And the hard part though is the expectation now, because if you're dining at Lazy Betty or you're dining at like a Mujo or something that's going to cost you, there's a level of expectation, and I think that comes from ignorance because they simply don't know why it costs that much. They just know it costs that much, so their brains need it to be something that they understand, which is service, ingredients they maybe don't know or understand. They need to see those on the plate. Like all that stuff is all what they can fathom. That's us pandering to them instead of them understanding that, hey, the labor on the rice alone, the labor on the fish alone, the taxing and the freight on the fish alone.
I rest easy as a consumer knowing that there was a lot of physical man hours used to bring this to me.
Right.
What's that about?
Right.
Why am I more willing to pay more? Right? More people were exploited. You know what I mean?
Because again, I think that comes the part of the trauma and part of what's kind of been beaten and pressed into us is like it's all part of it. It's all like this cyclical thing where it's like when you start to understand it and you work inside the industry, and then I think it opens up these parts of trauma, which is like what I was talking about with tipping and stuff. It all starts to feed into the giant monster at the end, which is I think what is sort of at the ethos of this podcast is sort of what the whole point is it's like
I'm frustrated about the whole fucking thing. I don't know which part's most frustrating. Right? Like the fact that you're willing to you're going to charge me $35 for a burger, that's frustrating. Also, you won't pay $35 for a burger? Also frustrating. Right? Yeah. Like we have to pay every person who helped bring this burger to you.
And I want to pay them, and I want to be fair, and the only way to do that is this way.
I think there's just too many of them, man. If I'm being honest, I think we just have too many fucking restaurants. Every goddamn kid with a fucking trust fund in the Southeast is trying to open a little side project. It's a passion project. Or
I'll say at the same time, though, we see them close every year.
Yeah.
So where one opens, two close.
Yeah.
Or
8 out of 10 restaurants close within 3 years or something.
3 years.
Is that right?
2 to 3.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right. So we're
this
done.
and more to come. So you get the idea.
We want to unpack our trauma. There's a lot of bones I have to pick with restaurant owners, restaurant goers, and restaurant employees, and I have to unpack this. I guess it has to be done in front of a camera and lights with my friend Vas.
Yeah, and I think that because these conversations had happened so many times that why not bring them to the people? You guys all watch the comics talk about stuff. Why not listen to industry professionals talk about stuff?
I weirdly just want like a catalog of the things I've said. I don't care if anyone hears this.
That's what it is. It's like a U journal. That's fine. That's cool.
I stopped writing years ago.
I want that for you. I want this to. We won't release any of this for 5 years, and then it'll.
Yeah, let the record show I don't care about
It's
you.
archival. It's just archival footage and everything. This is just so in 5 years he can go back and look at all this, and I'm just here.
And if there's anyone who's listening or watching that's upset with me saying out loud that I don't care about you, then we didn't want you here anyway.
Yeah, he's already ostracizing us.
Get fucked.
Get fucked. Get out of here. That's it. That's Restaurant Industry Podcast. Keep tuning in for more. We're going to have guests. We're going to have clips. We're going to have all kind of stuff. You can follow us at Restaurant Industry Podcast on Instagram and other. We'll have the website on that and everything going forward there. So you'll see that going forward. So
we're going to go forward.
We're going forward at Mach speed.
Thanks, Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
Produced by Do You Validate?